Hey everyone, welcome back again to WCS Challenger for Oceania and SEA, proudly supported by McDonald's Australia. We just had an awesome match. Oh my goodness, match of the day. And I'm very hyped for the next one, which is going to be a qualifying match. But before we get to that, please bear in mind there's still a B stream rolling on. If you haven't seen enough of Probe for one day, he's going to be facing Peppy over on the OSC Esports channel. So make sure you check that out as well. But we are about to slide on into a TVT. Maynard, you're a Terran. You know things about TVT. Seither versus Hut. Our two seeds from last season. Who do you reckon will come out on top?
You know, I know everything about TVT except how to win it. It's my worst win rate by far. Seither versus Hut. I mean, I got to favor Seither coming into this. Hut is amazing. He's got really good decision making, very good strategically, but Seither's mechanics, he's just too good at the game. And I usually favor the mechanical guy over the strategical guy in this game. Mechanics is such a huge part of StarCraft.
Absolutely. I think it's one of those things where I'm doing good.
Okay. We're getting a little bit of cough there. I was worried about you. Just checking in, all right?
I was just
making sure you're healthy.
Muting and unmuting my mic so I wasn't coughing into the viewers' ears nicely.
Just look after yourself. I
think I agree with your analysis, Maynard. I think Seither is the favorite player, and we have seen Hut look so good versus everyone, but I think there's something to be said for encountering your teammate. Your teammate kind of knows how you think about the matchup. You know, I feel like that part of Hut's success is talking to Seither and kind of adding his own flair to what Seither does and them kind of working together. But the last time we saw Hut up against Seither, it was a little bit of a ruffle stomp, I believe is the correct term, where it was attempted proxies and cheeses, and Seither kind of scouted them all and kind of shut them all down.
Yeah,
that sounds about right.
Yeah, you're not wrong. I mean, if you look at these guys' previous matches, Seither actually has a 66% win rate over him, which doesn't bode so well for Hut here. But luckily, there are two seeds, and Hut is looking better every season. So I think, you know, it's 66%. You know, that's still 44%. I can't mess. That Hut is still winning.
3.3 reoccurring.
34%. My bad, not 44.
Yeah. We could even just say a third of the games.
But yeah, so he still has a chance. The statistics haven't been in his favor in the long run, but I don't know. He's looking really good today. And he has been able to slap down some great players. You know, me and Micah was on an absolute tear. Obviously, that's a different matchup, but he made him look pretty easy to overcome. So maybe this is the time for him to take that top spot.
And I believe this is actually a best of 5 that's being played, as well as first map Acid Plant, then Lost and Found, Catalyst, Dreamcatcher, and then 16-bit. Thank you, Insano, for the map order. So the maps, of course, that got vetoed were Red Shift, no surprise there, and
Darkness Sanctuary.
Darkness Sanctuary, the one we never see, the big 4-player map as well, of course.
No one wants none of that.
Yeah, everyone's a little bit afraid of the big randomness on that 4-player map.
Yeah, that'll be an interesting one. We haven't really seen a really long series. I mean, the last match is the first one that we've actually seen go quite a while. Yesterday we were commenting how the matches, there must have been a lot of cheeses or something going on in the lower bracket because that moved through really quick. And even the upper bracket games that we followed, you know, lots of 2-0s. Some not super convincing 2-1s, but even those weren't the half-hour games that we were watching just then. And TVT is a different beast. We haven't actually had a TVT on stream yet, I don't think.
No,
between yesterday and today.
Yeah, so this is going to be a good time. Zeph and Pig have got the mic for this one. I'm going to bow out and just watch it, put my feet up, get my jammies on, and just enjoy some sweet TVT.
Yeah, that is the best way to enjoy it indeed. And folks, we are loading into the first map, which is going to be Acid Plant.
All right, here we go. A big TVT series between the rank 1 and 2 seeds going into today's Challenger qualifier. Up here in the top left-hand side, in the blue, the Terran player, he is Seither. I did say qualifier. What I meant was actual Challenger. It is the qualifier for WCS Montreal, of course, the last WCS circuit stop of this year.
And in the bottom right, echoing that hashtag balance tag. My goodness, these guys are cheeky. This is Hut.
Even Maynard's having a bit of a chuckle there in chat as well at that one. Always good to see these players having a bit of fun, and these two are the best of friends. Both going gas first into barracks here, and just learning from my boy Innovation. So maybe that's the secret recipe to be that consistent as Terran, hey? Just have an 80% win rate and then complain about the race that you have the 80% win rate versus.
That's the way, man. There's all the people in the scene too, because Seither is, by the way, guys, a 5-time top 2 seed in our region. That is insane. He is so consistently good. He's been on top for a while. And Hut has only just had his first, as we mentioned before. Maybe he'll get a second spot to go overseas this time around as well. Time will tell. But Seither's just got so much experience on his side now, and I think that'll only be to his benefit as he continues trying to qualify every season, and also as he plays on stage overseas, which is a totally different beast. So it would be great to see him get that 6th-time qualification here as well.
Yeah, it'd be really cool just to see that confidence build up over time, the experience. It does really, take a while to develop a player, because you play such a wide variety of players. When you get to one of these WCS tournaments as well, like, you could be up against the Chinese player, you could be up against the Taiwanese player Haas, you could be playing against Hero Marine, all these European American styles. There's so many different strategies out there and different I think environments you get put in depending on the event as well. So it's good to see Seither slowly building up that experience, and it is going to be him poking across with the Reaper first of all across this map, but Hut gets the first shot off. Seither has to back off, and both players playing 2 Reaper Cyclone, very safe openings and identically timed expansions, so both of them delaying the starport. But the difference here is that Hut actually pulled some workers off gas a little bit earlier, so is really prioritizing the minerals, whereas we can see Seither's still stacking up a lot of gas, so might be planning on going into more cyclones behind this with that gas bank, or indeed just the fastest starport.
Yep, time will tell. I do love the scrappiness of the early game. TVT, be in the wrong place, wrong time. Suddenly you've lost a Reaper and it's a little tricky to maneuver around because your opponent has 1 more unit. Seither looking like he's almost unlucky there, but does manage to sneak away from those couple of Reapers. The Cyclone come back in to get a few shots off.
That's, Hellions there. There's no escaping that. Oh, the Hellion stopped chasing. I was going to say there's no escaping a Hellion, but actually they're going to have time to get out of there now. Oh, wow. Those Reapers could have cut that off as well. So a little bit of a mistake there from Hut, not being able to trap those Reapers on his side of the map. And indeed, there is a second Cyclone on the way for Seither right now. So Seither here is actually going up into multiple barracks. He's going to be building a few more Cyclones, as I predicted with the gas. But I think it's just going to be like 4 Cyclones, and then it's just going to be like tons of bio and looking to get in control with the drop play.
Yeah. And Hut's still roaming around the map with the units that he has. He's going to have the fastest starport here, so he's going to opt for a Raven as his first unit out of that structure, and then we'll see what he can do with that. Of course, getting siege tanks and marines started as well, and that will give him some nice pushing power, but also some nice defensive power. Now let's see what he can get done if he comes up here. It's a little spooky because there are a couple of Cyclones with a couple more just popping out there, so does need to watch it. But for now, I'm just kind of keeping tabs on what Seither's up to.
Yeah, I mean, this is nice control by Hut, but the Cyclones are always a scary force. And they're pushing out. Did Hut even see that? Okay, he sees it now. He was actually looking for a drop with that spread of units, but seeing those Cyclones there, and I think the Cyclones are just going to pull back, but third CC's on the way for Hut. Hut really going for a very typical kind of defensive tank style setup. You've got the Raven, the tanks, the Marines, but the threat is going to be when the Marines come out with the medevacs. For now, just getting a little bit of damage. Marina and SCV, not bad. Gets on out of there. Doesn't lose any units for it. And what vision did he get? He actually saw none of the text. We didn't see the starport in the factory back there or anything like that. So Hut's still a little bit in the dark behind this, but I'm sure just seeing the Cyclone count, he already has a pretty decent idea of what he's up against.
Yeah, absolutely. And the first 2 medevacs coming out, Stim finishing up there is a potential to move out a little bit, but of course we also have that +1 coming. He can get combat shields and find a nice timing there too. So keeping back in his base at the moment, he might poke out here with these couple of Hellions, Cyclones, and find out about this push just in time. So a fair number of units here. Tank preemptively sieges up, but will move forwards now that there's not an immediate threat.
Yeah, I mean, there's a second siege tank here as well. This push is very scary because Seither's only got Marines and Medevacs. I mean, he's got Stim. He's going to try and set up a flank. That's a good move. He's already unloading down there. These tanks, though, are going to get forward, and especially things like the Reaper grenades. If Hutt lands those on the Marines or Cyclones as they try to close on the tanks, that's going to be huge. Already a lot of these units go down. Seither has to Stim. He's coming in from the back side of this. The Raven's there. Is he going to land an auto turret? It does. The siege tank's getting off some massive shots. The Marines getting shredded. These Marines don't have combat shields for Seither. 14 SCVs going down as well.
Yeah, not a bad exchange at all. Seither picks up, and he's actually going to chase after the Raven with 2 Cyclones in tow. 1 more siege tank for Hutt, returning home as well. He did lose most of that force, a couple of tanks and a bunch of Marines, but man, he got a lot of worker kills for that. Yeah. And a whole bunch of Seither's force as well, so not too bad of an attack. Let's see what these Cyclones can do as they enter the main base.
Being a little bit greedy behind this was Hutt, realizing at the last second, tried to put down a bunker there. And, he's going to try to come up to deflect this. Will manage to push it back at the last second, but, Seither getting very fancy there, trying to bait out some energy from that Raven. But this already has disrupted Hutt's follow-up. And check out the upgrades. Hutt has accidentally made +1 structure armor rather than bio armor. That is a misclick, or a button misclick. So he's going to accidentally have very strong buildings and much weaker Marines, which is really unfortunate for Hutt.
Nice missile turret here, limits the places that he can actually drop these Cyclones. He should be able to get a couple of kills here before the Marines push it away. And he does get on out of there without too much trouble, but 3 more medevacs worth of units coming out. The 3rd base has been landed for Seither as well. So you can be securing that behind this aggression.
Look at this setup, though. Oh my lord, that's a bunker, a turret.
Hutt is ready.
The Raven. The Raven didn't get its spells down until a little bit too late. And oh my lord, I can't believe the confidence of Seither just finds this tiny little gap in the defenses, drops top of the bunker, and he's going to be able to get a lot of this production down. I mean, this is just Seither in a nutshell. He's so good.
Targeting one after the other, just nothing left here on those barracks. And 1 tank goes down. He starts evacuating a unit or 2, but this is such a tough spot for Hutt to engage. There's still a tank up. He can't really close the distance, lifts the CC and tries to move forward a bit here. There's still a lot of firepower from those backlines. SCVs come off the line as well, and now Seither's definitely going to get a bit of revenge for the SCVs he lost before. What an attack. That looks like it shouldn't have worked because of how prepared Hutt was, but he got a lot done there.
Yeah, I mean, the real problem was not having a tank in range, right? His siege tanks were so focused on the front. And, I mean, I thought it would be enough that the units dropped just out of tank range, and I guess a bunker with non-stim Marines in it. The auto turret's coming down a second late. If he'd been able to shut down 2 of those medevacs, it would have stopped them from unloading. So if Hutt was quicker with the reaction, I think it would have been a totally different story. But as it was, Seither finds that tiny little opening, and that's always the problem. Off this opening as Hutt, you're ahead, but they've got so many Marines and medevacs, and so many more coming in. There's turrets ready, but there's no other units there. Seither not going to blink at all, not going to hold back. He's just going to dive everything into this main base. Hutt going to do a counter drop on the other side, but Seither quick to respond. He is all over this. The tanks coming back here for Hutt, but already losing so many workers.
Oh my goodness, almost up to 20 lost on Hutt's side of the map. The drop for Hutt on the other side is still doing some work. He's trying to target down the CC. We'll see if he gets it, but he's still got to deal with this force in his main base. It looks like slowly but surely he is cleaning it up. Will the CC go down? He does manage to get it.
And gets the Marines out as well. Good micro from Hutt. Meanwhile, the missile turret's going to do a bit of damage there. Hutt, though, definitely the worst for wear worker-wise. He's down 20 workers. So once Seither's 3rd command center finishes up, he's going to be in a really good spot. Hutt actually has a 4th command center. What? 4 CC build. Mega greedy from Hutt. But that's going to allow him to bounce back from the worker deficit. If he can just start landing mules all over that base, that's going to be huge. Hutt here, though, is currently ahead in the army supply. So he's up 3 siege tanks, a handful of marines, a handful of medevacs. He's also got 2-2 in line with Seither's upgrades, but Seither's still the one with the map control. And you can see Seither just being so tricky here, constantly coming in from multiple angles. He wants to keep Hut back on that side of the map while Seither's macro recovers.
Yeah, he does not let up on this aggression. The 4th base is out of there, and Hut's actually moving up. Sieges just on the edge of that tank range, and he's going to stim forward, take out those tanks. Looking for the medevac kills, gets one. Nicely done.
Really good play here by a Hut. Normally in these pressureful situations in the past, I'm used to seeing Seither just get ahead, get further ahead. But Hut's actually staying in line with him now. Hut has been the more defensive player, but he's weathered a few punches. He's got a good economy up. His upgrades are even. He's way ahead in army supply, and he's looking to do the counter pressure. Seither, so desperate, isn't even trying to defend. He's evacuating, and he's sending his tiny army across the map. He's realizing that in the chaos, maybe he can use his mechanics to get back in the game, but another command center going down!
Oh no, that's so bad for Seither. Can he get some revenge on the other side? He's targeting down that CC. No, he's actually going for the SCV. He's going to hurt that worker count even more, and does get out of there before he loses too much.
There's
But
no
Hut-
turrets. There's no turrets in the main base here of Seither, but he's got a squad of Marines. Seither was so quick on that reaction. He gets every single siege tank. Even though the Marines of Hut do end up overwhelming, all the tech units went down. Let's see, Hut going to try and dive on this Seither, trying to bring Marines back in the drop. An incredible defense attempt, but I think Hut just has too many Marines. Manages to jump on top of it, and he's in the production. He's out of control. The damage starting to pile up.
Too many Marines and too many medevacs. All those Marines have basically a personal healer right there. And Hut is actually going to reinforce this with more Marines coming across the map. He's shredding up SCVs that are long distance mining. At the same time, with the other half, he drops back into the main. And see the commenting, he has no medevacs. That is it. GG Hut taking game number 1.
This is a new Hut. He is clearly, I think, being energized by his amazing performance in that last season. And it's just kicking it. It's just going super hard here. Has been practicing.
Oh, yeah.
And that was just, I mean, after that first drop, I thought, oh, it's so easy to fall apart in this scenario. But he just locked it down. The second drop was hard to deal with. It did damage as well, but he just stayed solid, kept macroing, got back in control of that game.
Yeah, that was really solid play from him. Didn't lose his cool. Similarly, Seither, some fantastic defense there for a couple of the attacks that Hut came forward with, but they definitely traded a lot of blows. And while I felt that Seither had a bit more control of the game, Hut really found some good spots where Seither didn't quite have enough to defend and capitalize on that super well. So fantastic first game. TVT, always good fun. I feel like I'm never bored watching TVT. It doesn't take long for the action to start to heat up.
Especially with the way Seither plays. He's just like, no, I'm going to boost into your main. No, I'm going to boost into your main. Like, it's so scary because the way these units are so strong, whoever's set up with the siege and the setup, it's like, but at the same time, they're so mobile. So yeah, it's, people always say, oh, it's such a chess match. I'm like, yeah, if you gave like a lot of steroids to the chessboard before the match even started, like it's so much faster paced. It's so much more deadly than any other matchup, really. So I love watching TVT, the positioning, the maneuvers they both make, and the real bounce back. We got to see a shift that game between, hey, you do damage to their economy, but now your army's smaller. You're suddenly on the defense and you're frantically trying to defend your side of the map. But then once you defend, you can push back, and it's this just incredible seesaw of tactics and decision making. I can't wait to see where the rest of the series goes. Next map is going to be Lost and Found.
Yep, and we are loading in already. These guys don't want to waste any time, and neither do we. So without further ado, let's hop on that Insano cam and introduce this first player in the bottom left. In the blue trunks from SYF, he is Seither.
And his opponent up here in the top right-hand side really starting to come into his own as a player. In the red, it is SYF's Hut.
And indeed, they are teammates, which makes this a little bit interesting. I don't know how much these guys practice together, how much they share strategies, but if they do it all, it does make it a little bit of a mind game match when they do turn up this deep in a tournament, in a qualifying match for a WCS international spot, you have to wonder how much they have to tweak their play.
You know, it's good to see them both clearly keeping a very friendly attitude as well. You know, see that they're commenting on, it's like, oh, I don't have any medevacs again. Clearly something they've been kind of chatting about. He's like, yeah, keep losing my games because all my medevacs die when I boost into people's bases constantly, I guess. Both of them are just, they're very friendly, right? No one seems too overly stressed. They're kind of both just chill. And this time around, we are going to see a bit of build variation as well. So Hut's going to be going for the expand play. While Seither here, look at this, just scouting for proxies. I mean, last time we saw these two play, this scout found a barracks, killed the SCV building the barracks, and it was basically game right there. This time around, though, Hut's much more confident in his macro play.
Yeah, because that's something that has historically been a big part of Hut's play. He has been a guy that's been really good at the 11-11 against Zergs, for example, proxy Raxes, proxy Reapers, you know, you name it, he's done it. He's got fantastic micro in that early game scenario as well, which made him absolutely terrifying for a while because he actually really didn't cheese in a couple of tournaments.
Yeah.
Don't see it quite so much now, but you can't forget that he used to do it because you never know when he's going to try and stash a sneaky Rax just around the corner from your base.
Exactly. You know, back in the days, because he played for a long time. Hut did take a bit of a break there, but he was 2-raxing people back in early Heart of the Swarm, even late Wings of Liberty. He's always been doing that. Has that big strategy experience with the game. See if they're going to come and pick a fight here. Oh, gets the first shot off, but the second Reaper comes in. Oh, punished.
Just in the nick of time, those two Reapers are going to go visit Seither's base once again. There's a Hellion out, so he does need to watch it for that. Oh, and he meets the second Reaper. I'm not sure if he'll be so lucky as to get that killed as well.
Uh-oh. That Hellion's on the warpath right now.
Yeah.
Gonna need to find a ledge to jump down, of course, to dodge the Hellion. Does do that, and kind of jukes it. The Hellion started going left, but the Reaper should get on out of it. And now, Cyclone production is starting up here for Hut, and he even sent in a SCV, which slowed down that command center slightly. Spotted what the follow-up was there for Seither, and behind this, yeah, it's just going to be a very defensive setup for Hut. Not too crazy for Seither either. So both players going to go to that middle stage. This time around, though, I think we might see Seither opting for his own Ravens and siege tanks, not rushing up the Marine count like he did in that last game.
Yeah. It's like a fairly calm early game here until we start getting those starport units out in the field. Bit more harassment potential, and it's going to be the Cloaked Banshee follow-up.
It's always nice to see that. We don't see it as much these days. I guess it's probably because the Raven is so popular at the moment, and people are building so many like Cyclones they can kind of just lock on with a scan and shut it down. But I think it's going to be a Raven again for Hut here, which is fantastic against the Banshee choice of Seither. So as long as it's in the right position, we do sometimes see players kind of discount Banshee as an option, so they send the Raven across the map to harass, and they end up in huge trouble, or Banshees hit both mineral lines at once, the Raven's kind of not in position, and you still take a lot of damage. So a lot of it comes down to execution.
Oh no, this Reaper. Nice trap set up there by Seither. And yeah, you're right. I mean, last time he made the Raven as well, and he kept it at home until he was ready to push with it. And I think that Banshee will arrive before he thinks of doing such a thing. So hopefully he can minimize the damage that he's going to take from that. Does have the 2 extra racks finished now, but they're going to be building add-ons and whatnot. But he will have some Marines to help shoot that down momentarily.
Banshee's coming in. Raven is going to track onto that immediately. Banshee's still going to... No, yeah, not going to risk it. That's the power of this, right? There's actually not that many things that shoot up for Hut, but it's just so scary to commit there as Seither. It's incredibly scary. Seither actually going to commit on the ground with a little push here, a siege tank, a few Marines, a Cyclone, a Hellion. Going to try and get a siege up maybe in range of these barracks and get a little bit of damage done there. So a nice lock on to start things off for Hut. Damages the Banshee, but the siege tank is here. And uh-oh, Hut's production in trouble.
Yeah, this is a real annoying spot to have to try and deal with. Hut sieges up his own tank on low ground, and he can actually fire on some of the Marines, but not the tank. And this is where the Banshee comes in handy once again, because he can actually start picking away at the defensive units of Hut, and there's not all that much he can do about it. He can only get so close.
The barracks is going down. That siege tank falls. Another siege tank falls. Double auto turret does go down and snipes one of the Banshees, but there's still one more Banshee there to spot that high ground. It comes back in now. The Raven's out of energy. Lock on from the Cyclone finally gets rid of it, and at least that will shut down the high ground vision. So they're going to go for one more scan here, but after that, he's just going to have to unsiege and go home. Unless he wants to keep just dropping scans continually, he's got to leave. So Hut does weather the storm, but it was an expensive couple of losses. A few siege tanks, loses a barracks, of course, takes an overall very negative trade there. But he's tied up in workers. He's got his own third command center starting. It's later, but it's still there, and he's still got some decent infrastructure. Not just that, but oh, actually, I thought it was a fourth command center again, but no, just the third one.
Yeah, so he's going to be set up to take that third base. Maybe once he gets a few more units on the field, he'll think of another push. But it looks like Hut now wants to be the aggressor, looking to do some damage in those medevacs. He's got a tank and a whole bunch of Marines. And this times out nicely for when Seither's trying to take the third. Now, hopefully he doesn't get intercepted. It looks like Hut's going to skirt right around the bottom, so that doesn't happen. And there's only one missile turret right on the corner there, so there is space to drop here still. But it looks like Seither is somewhat poised to get some units up there right away. Let's see how he goes as he drops in here.
Raven does take a lot. Oh my lord, it even goes down to the missile turret. That's a bad start to things here. But the stim! Oh, stim goes down there for Seither. A disastrous turn of events for the Blue Terran. Hut's already done more than enough damage, but it's not over yet.
No, takes out the tech lab on the factory as well. Siege tank just going to be left as a sacrifice, and Hut is actually going to spin around, go down into this third base. He's going to get maybe 2 more tanks for his efforts down here and a few SCVs. Picks up what's left of his army and gets out. What a beautiful attack for Hut.
Really nice play there by a Hut, and now that's huge because the tech lab only now rebuilding. Stim is minutes away. That shuts down Seither's chances to really get things done on the map. Seither floating a lot of money during that as well, desperately trying to, of course, handle the pressure. A couple of libs going to come across, try and find an angle to harass the bases as well. So Hut throwing lots of spanners in the works, trying to, of course, mess up Seither's progression in this series. And back at home, Hut has the production just exploding. His third base will be going down soon enough. Upgrades are pretty much tied for both sides.
His lib's taking a bit of a beating on their way in. Not sure he'll be able to find too much here, although the natural's pretty naked. Does force him to pull away as he takes one SCV down. The other liberated, not quite so lucky, unfortunately. But a scan goes down at the third, and Hut is moving forward, trying to find where he wants to poke next. He would love to get in here.
He's going to try and just change angles. He kind of baited out the unsiege there. Even if he can just get rid of the sensor tower or gas, that's already pretty damn nice. And he's going to be able to do just that. Hut here, forcing a favorable position. This is fantastic for Hut. Hut has the third down behind this, has started mining from that as well. I got to say, Seither's macro has been a little bit better this game, but Hut's aggressive positioning is just fantastic. The libs occupied Seither. He's got position. This third might have to lift off.
Yeah, it's not looking like he can really walk forward into this tank line at the moment. Scans, goes, okay, see what you got there. Hut's third is well and truly operating by this time as well. He's heading into the 2-2, and Seither still doesn't even have stim. He's got to wait a little bit longer for that, and then once that kicks in, he'll be looking a lot happier. He has his wall blind, he has combat shields. He's just missing that extra bit of damage and speed. So here we go. Hut's going to stim in and see if he can take out Seither's army.
Stim's not ready. It's not ready yet. Oh man, what a decisive push. He saw 8 Marines pick up and he jumps on it. Hut doesn't take a single breath, doesn't take a moment to even think about it. So decisive. And look at this, Seither just getting crushed through Hut.
Oh my god.
Oh, wow.
GG. Hut is up 2-0 over Seither, who took the top seed away from him last season. Twice, might I add. He beat him in the upper and in the rematch when they last faced, and it's looking like it may go the other way this time. I'm very impressed with Hart's play. He's looking good.
Yeah, that's insane. So well played by him throughout that. I thought that first push was once again going to really cause some discomfort, get some mistakes, but that drop getting in just before Stim finished, getting the Stim, a few more add-ons, 8 or 9 SCVs, like even got the couple of siege tanks with that cute drop into the third base. So Hut's on fire. He's looking so confident right now. I'm just super impressed from what we're seeing. It feels like a new Hut, a new level of confidence for him, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what he's been doing, what he's been having for breakfast, but whew,
Lots of Vegemite.
it's lots of Vegemite. It's like night and day. Like he's always been really good, but when he comes up against a guy like Seither and you look at the stats and you're like, damn, like as good as he is, he's been struggling to take the series away from him. You don't really expect these backhands that he's been dishing up. You'd think maybe there's a bit more back and forth, and he's got to be feeling good right now. Like it's all about that confidence, right? So if you're up 2-0 in a best of 5, you've got a lot more room to make mistakes. Hopefully your nerves aren't getting to you, and you can seal the deal with that final win for the first qualifying spot.
Yep, next map is going to be Catalyst, so going to be exciting to see where this one goes. A little bit of a smaller map, but still lots of ledges, lots of interesting positions with how the players choose to play it out. We can hear the beautiful ticking of the countdown in our ears as we go into this map number 3, and I really do feel like we're going to be, if we see a 3-0 here for Hut, it is the beginning of a new era, a new time of StarCraft in this region, because this would just, I think, to me, it tells me that Hut is the new boss, if he can do it. So let's go into match. Let's see what we end up with as we launch into game 3. Down here on the bottom right-hand side, in the blue, the Terran player wanting to seal the deal. It's SYF's Hut.
And up in the top left, his teammate and rival, it is Seither.
Going to be a interesting map here. Both players are going to be walling off those Reaper ledges with those depots. Of course, does expose them to getting sniped by things like Cyclone drops, but overall, well worth doing that. And this can be gas first for both players. Wouldn't be surprised on such a small map to see them both go for the double gas into the quick Cyclones like we saw in game 1 from both players.
Yeah, we'll see what they come out with. As both head into their second gas here. And guys, I believe the V stream is still going. As an update from the brackets, Probe did take the 2-0 over Peppy, and he is now going to be going up against me and Micah in lowers round 5. So the winner of that will be awaiting the loser of this match, and that will be a great one.
Damn. So Probe versus Mio on the mainstream after this match. So whoever wins this one, stay tuned. And of course, the winner of that following match will face the loser of this one. So we're getting to the final stages here, the last couple of seeds. The competition is fierce. Of course, whoever wins this match does get that first spot through to WCS Montreal. And indeed, it is a double gas opening for both players here. Hut is the only one, though, that opted for the SCV Scout. Hut, always one who likes to have the information, likes to know what he's up against. Seither, on the other hand, is much more willing to just play it the way he's seen the Overlord of Terran, Maru, play it more recently. You know, he'll just go, look, I've seen it this way, or this is the way I prefer to do it. I'm going to cut the corner. I'm happy to play with imperfect information. But Hut, I feel like in TVT especially, is very big on that scouting. We're even going to see him hide the SCV because he wants the follow-up scout on what the next step is as well. Hut always likes to have that information, and you can see he's playing very conservatively with that Reaper as well. The Marine coming out and the Command Center very quickly down for both players.
Yeah. No, I guess it takes a little bit of time for the Cyclones to come out and the Starports to happen before we'll see too much of a poke on either side. Hut is going to be a bother once again. And,
Just one man with a
OCE-SEA.
drill. That's all you need.
Yeah,
Put the
that's
pressure
exactly.
on.
He's actually going to go all the way into the mineral line.
Whoa!
No.
Not quite.
No,
I mean,
he
that SCV is always forfeit, so the fact that he kind of distracted Seither, put a little pressure on, wasted a bit of mining time. Very good. Most importantly, he saw the quick reactor and the factory and the fast command center, so you'd probably normally be expecting the same full Cyclone opening as game one, but Seither is changing it up, and it looks like Seither's doing a very similar build to that last game, either Banshees or Ravens, with just a minimal Cyclone count. Hut here, looks like he loves that Raven, so I think he's just going to swap over and do that one more time.
Yeah.
Thinking
And,
about it. Oh no, get back up there!
on the block.
The Reapers decided to just jump past each other there. Well, one of them tried to climb back up the slide, one of them tried to climb down. Oh,
He tried to be too fancy.
yeah.
He's a leg it out of there. He's
Oh, we
on
might
his
actually see
last.
the Cyclone coming down. That's something.
Oh. Yeah, he does get taken out, but like you said, he sees the Cyclone, and there's the switcheroo. So cloaked Banshee again, but this time from Hut's side.
Yeah, it's role
Yeah,
reversal
cool.
of last game, right? This is like mirror image almost. I mean, I guess their expansions are more similarly timed, but
Yeah.
that's going to be interesting. The Banshees did well combined with that push last game, but I wouldn't mind them just like hiding and then coming in as harassment Banshees, because Hut's done such a good job at denying scouting. And cast a curse.
Just as you say it every time. Yeah, I feel you. Well, the first Banshee's out anyway, and it's halfway across the map, so Secret is out. He will be trying to do a bit of damage before too much gets in the way of that. We'll see what he gets done. There is a tank on the ramp. Marines are now heading into the mineral line. The main is still fairly naked, but it does have one Cyclone and one Raven that can easily skirt over to that mineral line. So,
Yeah.
unfortunately, it doesn't look like Hart will have too much luck here, but you can always pick off something, can always take it home, repair it, come back.
Ooh.
Oh, no!
Go home. Fly
So
home.
close.
Oh no, he's being way too ambitious here. Yeah, that's
Oh, get out.
that's a
Don't
dead
do
one.
it. Oh, no.
Does get a scan out, gets a Marine or two, an SCV I think maybe went down as well at first, so it's not terrible. But right now it is going to be, yeah, it's like the exact same thing as last time. The defensive player with the Raven, and the other player does the push. These guys, we're talking, I wonder how much these guys play builds together and practice. Come on, they're doing like the exact same builds the other ones used the
Yeah.
game before. These guys are clearly teammates. They practice a lot. Now, I like that move from the Banshee trying to get rid of the Hellion so it doesn't see the push, but it's actually chased the Hellion into the push. So it kind of, Hut's trying to come from a surprising angle. Notice he keeps shifting which direction he's coming from. Seither moving his tanks to the natural. This could work out very well for Hut, but there isn't really a lot of things in range of a siege up on this low ground, right? The production of Seither is so far back from that cliff.
No, I mean, maybe if you could ferry stuff into the main from the low ground, but he doesn't have medevacs with this force at the moment. He can start trying to pick away at a couple of things. That Banshee needs to be careful. That's his high ground vision. But
Yeah.
there we go.
Just gonna kill a few depots and back off, I think. I mean, this is not like an all-in attack or anything, right? That's the cool thing about these pressures. As long as you don't lose the units, it's totally fine. So just gonna take out that depot, drop a scan, and I'd like to see a go home from Hut as the next move. Back at home,
Yeah.
he's got his own third command center. Does have an upgrade about to start up as well here. So, you know, the macro is okay here for Hut. Just needs to make sure he doesn't overextend into a losing position.
Yeah. And he's just being a bother. He supply blocked Seither twice now.
Oh, look at
With
the
that.
ambush! Widowmine on the high ground, gonna get a huge hit. The Marines and tanks get blasted to pieces there. And Hut, massive control over this cliff. He's got to pull out of there for now. That Raven can lock down all the tech units. So Seither still has the much better army right now.
Yeah, and Hut is going to go around towards that third base. Seither catches wind of where he's probably heading and moves up towards that direction as well. He's got a fair few more Marines here. It's mostly tanks for Seither, and they will be very spooky on siege. That's a lot of damage. In fact, he doesn't even need to siege them just yet.
Oh, nice lockdowns. The Cyclone goes down. The tanks are basically just big ornamental things right now, and the stim being done for Seither. Seither gets his revenge. Trades went well for Hut before this point, but as we said, the army's just way better for Seither right now. Thankfully for Hut, one siege tank and a few Marines do end up getting out of there. But for now, the dust is settled. The upgrades are ahead for Seither. Third base is faster for Hut. Worker count very similar on both sides. Up to 5 barracks. Hut starting now. Seither almost identically timed. This is very mirrored right now. Yeah, the only real advantage lies in the faster +1, but since Seither isn't starting other upgrades, I'd say we're almost dead even on both sides at this point.
Yeah, Seither does have a couple of extra tanks.
Oh, that Marine only barely got a glimpse. I don't know if Seither noticed that.
Well, we fired at it, maybe. I'm not seeing anything move towards that main base right now, though, so maybe not.
I don't think he noticed it. Uh-oh, this is a big drop coming in here. A lot of Marines and siege tanks going right on top of that defensive tank. 3 siege tanks in here. This could be a deadly maneuver. Cutting down the shields, denied. The missile turret's going down to the main as well. Okay, Seither's trying to come up the ramp. The lockdowns are the key. The Raven locks down the tanks. Nice moves by Seither.
Yeah, very nicely done. He's going to be able to clean this up. All the Marines go down. He can save the medevacs, but everything else is forfeit. Nice pick off on the combat shields, even so. Denies mining in the main too. Forces the lift of the main command center.
Third as well is coming in. So a little bit of follow-up damage. That's nice. Gets a sensor tower. That's a valuable structure. 200 gas to build that thing. That's really big. Seither's pretty gas starved as well. So it kind of doubles up there. Lots of mining time got lost in Seither's main. He's only just reestablishing. So Hut's still in control of this game, but I mean, that Raven, like, this is just the power of the single early Raven, and it's still alive, and he's even repairing it. So Seither realizes the strength and the efficiency that Raven gives him over time. This drop, though, for Hut, still doing well for the player with the superior economy. And both players trying to improve those upgrades as well right now.
Yep. Oh, this poor medevac is having a bad day. Doesn't really have anywhere to go, but Seither also doesn't want to get super distracted with it, so he's just going to leave it alone for the moment. Got a sensor turret up in the main, and Hut is moving towards that top left again, and Marine out in the middle here will spot it, but at the same time he's got drops on the other side.
It's a little bit YOLO. Look how tiny this force is of Hut. Like, he's getting a lot done with very little, and this is great for him, but if Seither catches wind of how small this army is, he might just jump on it. Oh man, look at the ambition here from Hut. Zero fear whatsoever. Jumps on top of that, but Seither's going to come in from the backside there. The Raven finally goes down. This time, no lockdowns, being able to land, and these 2 siege tanks going to trade out very nicely for Hut.
Yep, SCVs come up the line at the back to distract the fire, and Seither will clean this up again. Medevacs do get out, which is nice. Always keeping those alive. And he killed another 7 SCVs, so he's killed 17 workers this game. And look at Hut's worker count compared to Seither's. What a difference.
Yeah, he's got a 4th command center that's about to go land as well. So, I mean, production-wise, it's very similar. It's 5 barracks for either side, just an extra factory for Hut, but 3 more barracks now going down. Once he gets reactors on those, his Marine count is just going to be way bigger. Seither has a casual 11 medevacs right now, so seems to be all or nothing on the medevac count with Seither in these games. He's moving down the left. Hut's not ready for this. He doesn't have that many reinforcements. It's going to be a bit of a semi-base trade here. Neither player realizes just yet how out of position they both are.
All right, that command center's dead. Hut takes the first swing. All those SCVs run for it. And similar deal on the other side. Those SCVs actually moving forward to fight this army. Not sure about that. He's going to pull back towards his tanks. And more going to go down into the natural. Hut is a little bit ahead of his opponent in terms of getting deep inside that base. All the Marines have gone down for Hut, though, on the other side of the map, and the tanks are left alone. Similarly, though, looks like Hut's cleaned up Seither's defensive forces in the main and natural.
And so many tanks coming out here for Hut. I mean, Hut is losing position. Hut's taking way worse fights on the defense, but on the offense, Hut is crushing through with that Marine count. He got a few more tank shots off in the defense, that's all he needs.
GG, folks. Hut with a 3-0 over Seither. What a performance there. He has got himself a spot in the grand finals, and guess what? That was also a qualifying match. So he's going to Montreal.
His 2nd WCS circuit stop consecutive seedings through there. And I mean, I don't think any of us were like, oh, we don't think Hut's going to qualify. We just did not think in 100 years Hut was going to be 3-0ing Seither in such a decisive fashion. But he crushed through those games. The confidence was overwhelming. There were multiple moments where there was a lot of pressure put on him. These weren't easy kind of mind game wins or strategic wins or cheesy wins. This was very much back and forth, action-packed Terran versus Terran. And we saw Hut come out on top 3 games in a row. So color me impressed. I am a very new fan of Hut. I always thought he was good, but now I think he's damned great.
Oh, yeah. He's absolutely in the best form of his career, which has been very long. We did mention he took a break from StarCraft for a little bit. But he did come back stronger than ever. And a lot of players that do come back after a hiatus, they do reasonably well. But I would almost want to say most of them don't end up in Challenger for 2 seasons in a row, qualifying to go overseas. After so many years of playing. So that is absolutely fantastic result for Hut. Congratulations to him once again. And he will be awaiting someone from the lower bracket, which means Seither will pop down to the lower bracket. He will await the victor of Probe and Mia Micah, which will be next on stream, I believe. And he will be looking for his chance to get a rematch against his teammate there.
That's going to be an exciting match. I'm a little bit jealous. I'm going to be sitting the next match out with casting it. But Probe versus Mia Micah. I mean, Mia Micah beat Probe yesterday 2-1. They had a rematch, and Probe let the memes flow through him. He surrendered to the memes. He engaged the memes. Blink DTs and Phoenix 2 games in a row. Some of the craziest back and forth games we've ever seen. Mia Micah was like roach rushing him off 15 drones, and then he was getting Blink DTs and sniping down layers. Like, absolute madness. What a great way to finish off yesterday in the qualifier. But they're both going to be knuckling down and trying as hard as they can to win these games. Doesn't mean they're going to be any less crazy, though.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that series as well. So, guys, I think these players are probably pretty keen to get into it. They've been waiting a little bit for the upper bracket to catch up, as we really wanted to stream this on the mainstream. So we will go to a quick break, and when we come back, a ZVP for all you StarCraft fans. See you soon.